Welcome to One Insight. My name is Litvin. I grew up in London and I now live in LA. And this is a podcast for extraordinary top performers. You see, I've coached some of the most successful and talented people on the planet. I see what most people cannot see, and I dare to say what most people wouldn't dare to say. And what I know about success is that on the other side of it, it can actually be lonely. You can feel like more of an imposter the more successful you become. And when you're the most interesting person in the room, you're actually in the wrong room. I coach around insight. Life looks one way, something happens, the world looks different, and your entire world changes. It can happen in an instant. And this podcast is called One Insight because a single insight can change everything. I really enjoyed this episode. I'm coaching Eric. Eric's a member of Project Kairos, my community of high-level leaders and executives and entrepreneurs who want to do one thing and one thing alone, build a successful and thriving coaching practice, one conversation at a time. Except Eric read The Prosperous Coach and really flew before he even came in to begin working with me. He now has 10 $100,000 clients, which most coaches on the planet would aspire to have. Except sometimes success hurts, and he's paying the price for the way he's created his business right now. He's got all sorts of unique challenges because of the way he set his business up. He wants my help to make $2 million next year because he's made $1 million this year. And I don't play that way. Instead of trying to help people solve the problems they have, I want to give them a bigger problem to live into. I want to give them a bigger challenge. So I give him a $20 million challenge, and he leaves full of inspiration and full of energy and excitement for what's coming next. And I slow him down with the idea that a goal is a place to come from, not a place to get to. Enjoy. Hey, Eric, I'm looking forward to having this conversation. You're a member of Project Kairos, so you've just come back from LA too, where you've been in my intensive. So we've been playing together for a while. And when I said, hey, you want to be coached by me where we can let other people be a fly on the wall, you said, yeah. And here we are.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I've gotten so much out of Project Kairos so far, and so many things. I mean, it all started with reading The Prosperous Coach. That has been, life-changing. So
nice. So how should we play today? What would make this valuable for you?
My number one thing at the moment is how best to structure my ambition so that I'm achieving at a pace that feels enjoyable and challenging and motivating, but not at a pace that's going to lead to burnout. So it's quite ironic in that I try to coach my clients in this way such that they don't burn out. But then personally, my biggest issue in life has been how exciting it is to achieve, and how very quickly that can become addictive. Achievement for the sake of achievement, and it just very quickly, becomes the whole hamster wheel. And I'm feeling it, and I'm seeing it now with the success of the coaching business.
Yeah, you are. And there's no irony, by the way. Often we teach and coach around the areas that we struggle with the most. It's why we have so much expertise in it. So it makes sense to you to help others do this. And we can't do it for ourselves, which is why I always have coaches and guides and mentors. We can't do it for ourselves. So what I know about achievement is it's one of, if not the only addiction in at least the Western world that we acknowledge and praise. Every other addiction, we know there's something bad about it. It's not healthy. Addicted to drugs, to alcohol, to sex, to technology. We see that. But you're addicted to achievement. You're addicted to success. You're addicted to accomplishments. We praise you for it. We honor those people. Elon Musk tells people that he sleeps under the desk in his office because he doesn't leave. He does 100-hour-plus weeks, and we laud him for it. And it's not a healthy thing to be setting up for ourselves, for our children. It's really unhealthy. It can work for a while in our lives. And for many of us, 20s and 30s, we can do that. And there comes a moment where we pay the price for that. And you're there. You've had, you're an entrepreneur. For people who are listening in, you're an entrepreneur, successful businesses, and coaching really flew. You've got 10 or so clients, $100,000 or so each. You have what most people would aspire to. I'm writing a book right now called Success Hurts. And
oh, it certainly does right now.
Right. And yeah, they're the kind of problems that you share in the world. And most people would say, I wish I had your problems. That doesn't take away from the challenge you're facing. You've got this amazing business you set up. You've got this amazing coaching practice you set up. You're also a family man, a father, and a husband. And there's no space in there for you.
And there's no, what you just said was a really good point as well about, because it's a quality problem, there's no outlet, there's nobody to share it with, because you feel like a bit of an idiot, sharing it with somebody, because they just look at you and go, okay, well, that doesn't sound like a problem. And I get it, it doesn't sound like a problem, but in my mindset, that's not how I view it, right? So, and
look, if I'm right, because I know this one, it's why I'm writing a book called Success Hurts. It's why I created a community called 4PC. I wanted to put a group of high performers together into a community where we have two ground rules. It's a place where you can never get too big and you can never get too messy. Never get too big. You want to be socially unacceptable at the next dinner party. Sit down and when someone says, how's life? You know what? Life's amazing. I'm making more money than I've ever made. I'm having more fun than I've ever had. My bank account keeps going. It's not socially acceptable to talk about how great life is, whatever level that's at. We bond by sharing our pain. And you know what? If you're a successful entrepreneur, a successful coach, it's sometimes nice to have a place where you can share that and actually show off about that. I like to say it's not bragging if you've done it. And in 4PC, we actually create a space for you to be able to brag. It's an old-fashioned word, but it's okay because it's fun to share about what you're proud of, what you've accomplished. And on the other side of it, in 4PC, with the flip side, it's also a place where we can never get too messy. Business owners and entrepreneurs, we have ups and downs and ins and outs, the whole gamut. And we can be on a high one day and then an emotional low on another. We can be making tons of money one month, and then suddenly it's all stopped the next. You know this, you've lived this, me too. And it's really nice to have a safe place where you can share that, because it's not often safe to share that with our investors, our board of directors, even our husbands and wives. We need a place where we can share that just to get it out of us so that we can feel free again with others who are going through the same stuff. Yeah, totally agree.
So you have this strong desire to succeed. It's painful in the process because your ambition is just completely uncapped. And but then you can't really share that with anybody because they'll think that that you're insane.
Well, you can't share it with most people. Your job is to either find or create a community where you can. So I created that community for me, for completely selfish reasons. I wanted a group of peers. I filter for 4PC members who are peers of mine, people doing extraordinary things in all sorts of other fields and areas, or coaches, but just playing a different game to me, where we can share that honestly.
And that's what I felt too in Kairos, because, obviously in Kairos, I have, shared kind of, these numbers and the results and all of that. I guess I mean more in the day-to-day, living. It ends up being, a bit bottled up.
And so in this moment, let's check in. What do you most need right now?
Bit of an action plan for, I have a number in my head, and it's it's a number that I want to hit within the next 12 months, an annualized revenue number, i.e., by the 12th month from now, I want that last month when multiplied out for the year to equal that number. And that number for me is, and I have no problem saying it, it's 2 million in annualized revenues. So at 1 million now, and it's come with a lot of hustle and a lot of work. And I'd like to kind of get the next million in a less painful way.
Nice. I like goals that have a rider on the end. Years ago, I remember I'd made, the first year I made $250,000, and I had a buddy coach me, and we picked the number 350 for the next year. No, 480. I forget what it was. It was a bigger number. And she said to me, something's missing. And I said, you know what it is? I just know a bigger number's coming. I don't know if it'll come in the next 12 months or 6 months, whatever. I just know it's coming. So that's not a goal that energizes me or excites me. So we put a rider on the goal. I think it was, let's call it 400. I can't remember the exact number. It was, I make $400,000 and it's fun and easy. Now, suddenly that was an impossible, I didn't know how I'd make that happen, but it energized me much more. I like impossible goals because they're not a place to get to, they're a place to come from. I had no idea how that would happen. It didn't take a year, it took a bit longer, but there was a day when it came like, wow, I've made that money and it was fun and easy.
Yeah, so that sounds awesome, because that's pretty much it's fun. Right now it's fun in the sense, I'll tell you what the fun moments are. The fun moments are when you've done you've hammered away and done the 10th proposal conversation, and you had 9 no's before that, and then suddenly you get the yes. And so that's a fun moment. And it's fun when you do your kickoff session and the client, you feel that, okay, I'm safe. They've sent that money. I've done the kickoff session. They thought it was super valuable. And I have that feeling for the first 2, actually. It's like I want to feel, confident. So after the first 2 sessions are done and they think it's glorious, then, all those moments are super, super fun. What's not fun is just how much work's required, to get there. Like all the hours to get to those, minority moments of success. And it's not easy.
So we've got to flip that on its head, because that's the entire premise of the Prosperous Coach. There's this thing called coaching that we love, and there's this thing called the business of coaching, which is hard for most people. Now, you've mastered it in a way that most people haven't. You make $100,000 proposals. You've got 10 clients who pay that kind of money. But it feels like, the business, this is hard, this is hustle, and this is fun. We've got to turn them into almost identical so that it becomes really fun. There's something you've missed in that game, because all I'm doing all day is coaching people. Some of them are current clients, some of them are potential clients, but you wouldn't know if you were at a video recording me who was which, because I'm just serving people, having fun, challenging them, turning up the flame. I love it. Building my business is the same as being in my business. It's the same thing. What's the gap here for you, Eric?
Well, so it's not that for me. So I would say in my proposals, I'd say I am selling 80% of the time, coaching 20%.
You got the wrong way around. That's it.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's the other way around.
Yeah.
For me, it's the other way around. I got on a call with somebody this morning. She's been in my community for a while. She shared really openly, and I said, wow, you need to be in 4PC. I don't care what it takes. We've got to find a way for you to be in my community, because who you are, what you're up to is extraordinary. And if it's not for you, I'm fine with that. But I don't want to not share that with you. I don't do that very often, but once in a while I look someone in the eyes and say, we need to work together. And she was, let's talk. So I love that. But that's a rare moment. I am serving and serving and serving. And much of the time I'm in a dating metaphor, I'm playing hard to get. I'm going to serve them so powerfully that they ask me, well, tell me more, Rich, what does it look like? And every once in a while, I come in and say, so you don't need another client right now. It's time to turn that game on its head. Yeah. So here's what I need to do as well. Here's where I also need to mess with your thinking on the other direction. You want to make 2 million in the next 12 months. Over here, that's logical. I just see that's going to be the next step for you. But what I want to mess with your thinking is actually take you at least 10 years into the future.
Right.
What do you want your 10th year of this game to look like?
In the 10th year, I have a multifaceted coaching business, which requires a minority of my time to be spent on one-on-one clients for two reasons. One, I'm charging higher fees per client. And then number two, I've diversified with other revenue streams. Online courses. I love doing video. A mastermind, an executive mastermind where I can, I've done to date, I don't know what the exact number is. I think I'm up to 63, so 6.3 million so far in proposals. So 63 proposal conversations. And the hit rate's been fairly good, whatever 11, I can't do 11 out of 63, so it's
let me come. I'm going to interrupt you. I realize it was interesting what you're saying, but I'm getting caught up in the story. I want to stay with my vision for 10 years into the future. So here's what I heard. Let me tell you what I heard and reflect it back and see how it lands. What I heard is in 10 years, you love this idea of having a small handful of one-on-one clients. I'm imagining a higher fee. 250,000, something like that, for a handful of really fun and interesting clients. Some kind of executive mastermind where you get to have the fun of working in a group. I love working with groups, but it also allows a lower price point. So some people who are A, not ready, or B, won't ever want to be on the one-on-one coaching side of things. You've got this executive mastermind. And then some of the fun stuff. It sounds like you love to be on video. So creating some stuff where you can share what you do with the world. And maybe monetizing that too. So at least three things on the menu and a lot more time for you. What I get about you too, Eric, you're a consummate businessman. So my sense is there'll be other businesses happening at the very same time.
Well, so that's the coaching piece of it, but that I want to become a cash generator, which will then also fund where I'd like to create some other leverage, which is an investment vehicle. So be able to invest in property, and then also a bit of venture capital investing, in companies. So for example, I've already started to, when a client can't afford the fees, I'll ratchet down the fees so that part of it's a cash component and part of it is share options in their business, say. Nice. So so I'd like to create that investment vision as well, because that creates real long-term firepower, in that if I can invest the cash from this in other assets, those assets can be earning money without my involvement at all.
Nice. Here's the thing I know about humans, Eric. They tend to overestimate what they'll accomplish in 1 year and massively underestimate what they'll accomplish in 10. So rather than focusing with you on how you'll make that 2 million in the next year, I want to look at how you're going to create those extraordinary things in 10 years. But because of the way I play around goals, not to have them be a 10-year goal, but have them be the place you're coming from right now. Now, how fascinating would it be in 2020 that you're talking right in this moment about, here's what I'm creating. I'm creating one aspect of my business around venture capital, one aspect of my business around having a handful of $250,000 clients, having an executive mastermind, and that being what you speak into the world right now. I think you'll be astounded at how much quicker these things will come when A, you take off the pressure of, I've got to hit this $2 million number, pound number next year because I hit 1 million this year. You're just making that up, right? You don't really care if it was 1.8, 2.2. It's a nice round number.
Yeah, exactly.
And it actually holds you back because then you push yourself. See, the problem with goals as a place to get to is you might not hit 2 million in revenue until December the 31st. You're going to spend 355 days beating yourself up because you're off target. And on the last day, you get $300,000 clients who say, hey, I'm in, I want to pay today because it will save me on tax for the year. Here's my money. And you felt like you were so far off for the last 5 months of the year.
Yeah, exactly.
Goals don't serve us as a place to get to, but as a place to come from. That big mission of I'm doing VC work, I'm doing high-end coaching with a handful of one-on-one clients, I've got executive masterminds, I've got other businesses I'm investing in. That's an exciting place to come from, and that can start now.
Yeah, I like that. And when you talk about getting that out there, and what do you mean by that?
I think the first thing is slowing everything down. I want to put you on a ban from making proposals too quickly, just for a short period of time. You don't need a new client right now. So, here's the challenge. The next 10 conversations you have, you are not allowed to make a proposal first. If they say, wow, this is amazing, Eric, what does it look like to work with you? Okay, let's talk. If they don't ask you first, you're not allowed to say anything. If at the end of serving them for an hour or 2 hours, they say, how do we do more of this? Or what does it look like to work with you? You can say, you know what? I don't like to make that up in the moment in 10 seconds. Let's get on another call and I'll create a way that will really be powerful for you as a way for us to work together. Would that be of interest? If they say, yeah, you get on the next call. And this is what tends to happen with me. They get on the next call and I say, well, tell me why we're here. And they said, well, you said you make a proposal to me. And I'll say this, something like this. You know what? I could do that in 10 minutes and no more. Why don't we spend the first 50 minutes of our call where I can coach you even more deeply than we went last time? And they go, wow, that would be amazing. And then I get them back into that feeling of the power of this work we do called coaching. And at the end, it takes me 10 minutes to say, look, this is what I recommend. We work for this many months. We do this. Here's the number. Here's the 2 options, the 3 options. And I've served them more deeply than the first time. And so I want to put you on this ban of not allowed to make a proposal first. If at the end of the first hour or 2, they say, thanks, Eric, I'm complete. That was great. And they don't ask anything, err on the side of saying, thank you. That even if you want to work with them, err on the side of, awesome. See you around. Put a note in your calendar for maybe 6 weeks' time where you reach out to them and say, hey, Jim, I was thinking of you. I'm curious. Anything come up from the last time we worked together? Any insights? Or you could say, hey, Jim, once a month, I put a coaching session on the calendar with someone who I haven't worked with in a while. There's a spot opening up next month. Would you like to take that spot? And you can get back in conversation with them. But if they don't make a proposal first, err on the side of not. That I think will really serve you about building this fun energy of I'm here to serve, and it's always coming back to me.
Okay, I'm up for that. Challenge accepted.
Nice.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. And then in terms of like getting it out there in the world, in terms of what that means.
One conversation at a time. When somebody says, what does it look like to work with you, Eric? You say, well, there's at least 3 ways, but the main 3 ways are, I work with a couple of very high-level executives and entrepreneurs, and we immerse ourselves together for a year or more. It varies between 100 and 250K, depending what they need, depending on how much I want to spend time with them. I have an executive mastermind where I work with a small group, a handful of 5 really successful entrepreneurs who need a place where they can share, be proud of their successes, and not be embarrassed by their struggles in a really safe space with people who are playing at a high level like they are. And then once in a while, and then whatever else you have on offer. My sense for you, Eric, is that you might want to have something that you call rent Eric's brain. You have a really fascinating way of understanding business that some people, you know what, I could spend 2 hours with you and you're just going to coach me or consult with me, but it's just 2 hours. And I don't know what it is. It's $5,000, $7,000. It's enough that you're interested to do it, but it's a low enough barrier that all sorts of people could say yes and actually know what it feels like to invest money in themselves and in working with you, who might become clients later.
Nice. I like that. Yeah, because there's a lot of people who might not even be able to afford a mastermind, say priced at $20K.
Yeah.
But if there's suddenly a $5K ticket, and then they could still end up becoming a mastermind member, right?
Yeah.
After that.
Totally.
I think the other thing too that I'm interested in doing is live events. So creating a series of workshops that I'd like to run, quarterly. Like I have this vision in my head of a CEO boot camp, and then at the workshop also be able to all those that attend talk about these different products as well.
Yeah. So I love this. You're like me. You're a visionary. You think so creatively. I always upset my team because I do this and I've had a long drive and I come in with a dozen ideas like this. Like, we're just trying to fill the next event, Rich. Will you slow down? Yeah. I love that you think this way. And here's the piece that you need for 2020. You have to put your big rocks on the calendar first. And your big rocks are time for Eric. So it was a year and a half ago, my team were planning for 4PC and we used to meet in June or July. And I came in to a conversation on a Slack thread. We use Slack for internal communication. On this conversation where they've been talking about why it should be June or why it should be July. And I told them it should be August. And they were arguing about June, July. And I came in and I had to say, oh no, you guys misunderstand. It has to be August that 4PC meet because I want my family to spend 6 weeks traveling in June and July. So I'm not going to meet my community at that time. It was really selfish reasons, but I wanted time to travel. And that's the month because of the school vacations that we wanted to travel. So I've learned to build a selfish business. We didn't lose any clients over that. It was fine. We gave people enough notice. I create my business around what will make me thrive. And I know that I have to put time in for me on my calendar because I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I'm a business owner, and I'm in a profession that's always there serving others.
Yeah.
And I put me last if I'm not careful. And I actually have my team do this because I'm not very good at doing it for myself. They're the ones who put the time for Rich on the calendar.
Nice. Yeah. And this is something that will increase my my husband's score as well.
Totally.
It's something that my wife Giselle is always saying, can we book out our holidays now? Can we do it now?
Yeah. Do it first. You'll be astounded how intriguing and interesting it is for your clients because you're modeling it for them. I take off 3 to 4 months a year.
Right.
And I would literally start thinking like that. Give yourself some upper limits. You have lower limits. I've got to make at least $1 million, got to make at least 2 million. Give yourself some upper limits around time in particular for next year.
Nice. Cool. I like it.
Yeah.
So my big insight then is less about the 2 million number and more about start selling or visualizing, well, what is the business that automatically with ease would be making that number? What are the different components of that?
No. It's not 2 million. Look, let's be honest. You and me both know that 2 million is inevitable. It's just who you are. It's coming, right? That was coming. Yeah. We don't know what date. There'll be a moment at some point you'll call me and say, I hit it. Yeah. And then you'll be excited for 24 hours and you'll be thinking about, should have set a bigger number. What am I going to do next? No, it's something like 20 million or 20 million with fun and ease. And it's the place you come from. 2020 is, it's perfect. 2020 is the year for creating a $20 million business with fun and ease. it doesn't mean you're planning to do it in 2020. It's the year you declared that, and it's coming. And
Yeah.
I think
that's amazing.
Right.
That's amazing. So 2020 is the year that I create a 20 million, dollars, pounds, business with fun and ease. And then when? Right now. Just start stepping into it right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And so don't forget, the fun and ease go with it. So
yeah. And that's a good
this with your wife, because she'll be a really good arbiter.
Yeah.
That hey, I see you're making more money, but the fun's gone out of the relationship. There's not much ease right now.
Yeah.
She'll be what we need, you see, as entrepreneurs. I have it in my car. I have a check engine light. It comes on a dashboard to warn me, hey, the running out of gas, oil's low, need wiper fluid. I don't have that for myself. I have to enroll other people who can watch, like, dude, you're exhausted right now. You're getting angrier than usual at home. Why aren't you doing these things that energize you? Because I forget. And as my energy goes down, I forget more and more. Your wife, bring her in this. She'll be a great check engine light. Fun and ease is going to be a place from which you create $20 million. Not when I finally got it, then I'll have the fun and ease.
And it fits so well too with my particular setup, because when I think of the words and break them out, fun and ease. So the fun lends itself well to that point of, well, let's book out all of our holidays. It's something I would do together with my wife. And then even the ease part, because the thing that Giselle always points out to me is that I get so involved in my work, and she's supposed to be helping me. She's the managing director of the business we've created. And she often says to me, but you need to let me take some of that stuff. Why are you booking? She said the other day, so why are you answering all these messages and booking all these appointments yourself into the calendar? She's like, let me do this. And so you see, there's a nice triangle there of the vision, which involves the two of us, the fun, which we need to plan together, the two of us, and the ease with better communication and sharing of responsibilities will both bring us together even more and make it easier for both of us. So there's a really, really nice kind of future blueprint that has emerged with all of that.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a big difference from coming into this conversation with 2 million as a number.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Eric. Thanks for playing, man. This was great.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you very much. It was really, really good.
For most of human history, it wasn't called coaching. It was called leadership. And it's what I love to do, to coach people, to lead people, and to mess with people's thinking. If you'd like more of this, or if you'd like to learn more about our community of extraordinary top performers, go to richlitvin.com/oneinsight.